Last summer, I took a train across the country from Los Angeles to New York, and of course, I spent most of my time admiring vintage neon signs. So, here's a quick recap. I started at Los Angeles Union Station, and I sat in coach for nearly the entire train ride. My first stop was Albuquerque, New Mexico. This is the Chemo Theater, which was built in 1927. I ate at Church Street Cafe, originally built in the 1700s as a home. Then, I ran around looking at signs. I stopped by Buffett's Candies to grab some chocolates for the ride. They have a huge candy cane outside that dates back to the 1950s, and I had to check out the motels nearby. I love this owl-shaped building. I stopped by Doghouse, a vintage and iconic hot dog stand, and I had to see the neon signs at night, of course. My next stop was Chicago, so I got back on the train and had lunch in the train's cafe and had dinner in the dining car, which is more of a traditional dining experience, and the food was good. Sorry for the shaky camera, it was a bumpy ride. I spent a lot of time in the observation deck. Then I arrived in Chicago. Here's their Grand Union Station. Nearby is the historic Chicago Athletic Association building. It was beautiful. I stopped by Miller's Pub, which opened in 1935. Then I got on the train to go to upstate New York. I love this pharmacy sign that I spotted out the window. Here it is again in slow motion. When I arrived, I got in the car and went to Dairyland, a vintage ice cream stand. After driving around some more, I then ended up visiting Cape Cod, Massachusetts. The Tiki Port was a really charming restaurant that opened here in 1977. Unfortunately, it permanently closed a few months after my visit. This is a mini golf course, a part of Wellfleet Drive-In. It's so cute. And now we're in Provincetown. I have to highlight the Lobster Pot, a vintage restaurant that definitely catches your eye. I drove past some charming motels and more ice cream stands. In Saugus, Massachusetts, I grabbed food at Kowloon. This place is incredible. It opened in the 1950s, but there are plans for redevelopment of the property. After seeing a double rainbow, I spotted this massive cactus sign. It was originally built for Hilltop Steakhouse. And here's Yogi Bear in the Catskills. In Owego, New York, I visited an antique store inside a former J.J. Newberry 5 and Dime store that still has some of its original fixtures. I saw a ton of great stuff that I'll highlight separately. Here is a Mickey Mouse clock. And I got back on the train from New York to Chicago. I spent a night here and loved seeing this huge sign from the window of my hotel room. I went to Margie's Candies and ordered a banana split, got drinks at the historic Green Mill Lounge, then got back on the train the next day and visited a friend in Santa Fe. We ate at the Pantry restaurant. Then I headed back to LA. This was a really cool experience, and I definitely hope I can do it again. I met some great people and saw so many wonderful things.